rock. Bow, 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 hoping this is working. The broadcast going. Yeah. Anyway, I guess we're okay. My audio sounds good. Anyway, we're here to talk about Dhar Man lore. So, I'm guessing you all know what Dhar Man is, don't you? It's a fun little thing where this guy makes these inspirational, in heavy quotations, please, videos. What these videos are, they're like, kid steals credit card from mum to buy Robux, and they're like inspirational stories. Now, when you watch these videos, you'll see that all of them, they're normally on the same set, and there's one common recurrence, and it's the mall. There is a big mall where every time they're doing something, they're shopping, it's always in there. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, Charlie, what does this have to do with anything? What it has to do is that's filmed in every single place, and there's no names for any of the stores. They just either come over like a technical store or a phone store. Sorry, I mean general. Yeah, there's technical. There's hairdressers. It's pardon me. It's all just the same name for a store. Okay, now this is going to come into big, it's going to be a big deal later. So, okay, now we're going to get started. Firstly, I want to look at content creator lore. Now, in the Dhar Man universe, the first big content creator is Mr. Feast. Now, you may think that Mr. Feast is the ripple version of Mr. Beast, which obviously people did think that, and you have a big right to think that, but if I told you were wrong, there is a video where Mr. Feast apparently goes broke. Everyone thinks, oh, is this like representation of Mr. Beast going broke? But no, it turns out that Mr. Beast is in the Dhar Man timeline as well. Now, you're probably thinking, Mr. Beast, how was he in the Dhar Man timeline? So, the explanation for how he's in the Dhar Man timeline is him and Mr. Feast, who's the rip-off of Mr. Beast, went to the same primary school, and they're always trying to constantly one-up each other. When he became famous and rich off YouTube, Mr. Feast's other kid tried to do it as well. Now, of course, this is not fake because Mr. Beast is a legend and Mr. Feast is not real, so we know that this is in a separate timeline and that none of this exists, okay? Because there is no Mr. Feast, so we know that this is a separate timeline. It's not parallel to our universe, but that's when we're going to try and look at where does the Dhar Man universe correlate with our universe. That's the one question we're going to try and answer with our content creators. Dhar Man exists in his own universe, and because Dhar Man exists in his own universe, that means Mr. Feast could potentially have billions of clones. Of course, there will be clones of Mr. Beast, but you'll probably have Mr. Yeast, Mr. Geese, considering that in his timeline, Mr. Feast already is a, YouTuber. And they both have the same accountant, so that's what they both have in common. That's what links Dhar Man and Mr. Feast together. Of course, by the end of it, he kind of learned, and he kind of makes up with Jimmy, Mr. Beast, but here's the key. We never actually see Jimmy in the video. Of course, that's probably because he didn't want to appear in a Dhar Man video, so it's going to seem with that. We're not going to look too much into that. But there are some, things of like other music stars and creators and stuff like that, but they don't ever appear, and we never actually see any proof of those. But like I said with the account, and he said he works with a lot of YouTubers. If they're associated with things like Mr. Feast and Dhar Man, just think of one, what you big YouTubers will need an accountant. That's what we need to be thinking. What kind of content creators would need an accountant? So we can link this accountant to him, and we can link them back into the universe, and we'll give them links outside of their universe to try and find how they correlate. they're parallel universes or not. So of course Dhar Man still has his name. He doesn't have a rip-off, he doesn't have a regen, you might think, but Mr. Feast, he copies all of their ideas, but this is always in this general store. Now I want to come on to setting. This is where it turns from fun little thing to a bit sinister. Maybe this isn't a parallel universe. This is where it's going to be explained. So pretty much, like I've mentioned before, they're always in the same place. It's always obviously on a set. When you look at the mall, they all have generic names like general store, or hairdresser, or tech store. And every time you see trucks, they always have. You can never see names of them. There's never any branding on them. And in the video where it's Spoilt's son rejects adoptive brother, you can see when they're getting a mattress delivered, the delivery men, they don't leave the house. They just stand outside the door, almost as if waiting for something. This leads me to believe that it's all make-believe. All of the actors believe they're in one set universe. They think this is their home. They think these are everyday things when it's not. It's all a delusion from Dhar Man. He's trying to trick these people into thinking that this is his universe, and he's rinsing money out of them. He makes Mr. Feast think it was Mr. Beast he met in his childhood, when it wasn't. It was all made up, and it was a regen of him, and he's not real. And we could see that Dhar Man was having a chat with Jimmy in the start of the episode, of course, not in, the actual thing, so that shows that there's a bit of an outside of the timeline too, and that real Dhar Man is aware of Mr. Beast in both universes. So, he could have taken these. There's probably other YouTuber regens which he takes hopeless, failed people. You always see those rich people or whatever. They're probably, I think they're people who he took off the streets, who went broke after a big business deal, told them they can have a big business, and they think they have a big business because that's in their universe. And obviously there's some kind of brain drugging things. They're always changing characters, and you can see that some of them have TikToks, but there's only one of them which actually is a TikTok, and it's a young kid, and I feel like that's the only connection to the outside reality. I think it's a cry for help that this kid, has his TikTok, and he's uploading, and he's talking about playing these characters, and he always seems to repeat the same TikTok, saying, when I play the villain, when I do this, and I think that's showing signs of almost dementia and, memory loss, how Dhar Man could be drugging them to make them believe they're these characters which they're not. Dhar Man might not be the inspirational guy we think he is. He has a mobile app, and he always has the certain catchphrase. So you see, this is going to play a big part later on, okay? So if we go back to the Mr. Feast and Mr. Beast and Dhar Man, that's when we see the most content creators in quotations in one video. Basically, what's happened here is that what I think is that Dhar Man has put this guy who wanted to be like a content creator, he wanted to be like Mr. Beast, and he would always lull himself into a fake sense of hope, and he said, hey, I can make you famous, and Dhar Man was like, that's great. So he's of course got him into the studio, adjusting my mic, sorry, wrong way, there we go, typing now. So he says to him, oh look, I can make you famous, like, I know you, Dhar Man, you make these inspirational videos, yada yada yada. And he said, I want to play the role of Mr. Feast, and we know we have Handler, we have Fish, and one thing we don't see is a Carl.
And there it is, the half-time whistle.
Yeah, we don't see a Carl, we see a Handler, which is Chandler, we see a Fish, which is Chris, and you have Mr. Feast, but you don't have a Carl. This all makes me think to believe that Carl is relatively new with the Mr. Beast crew, so of course this will give us a rough timeline of when he was abducted, and when we saw the first videos, before Carl got added to the Mr. Beast crew. So this even gives me more to prove that he can't stay updated. They don't stay updated. You've So I don't know if they've made any videos on COVID or whatever, but if they did, that they're being fed false information. They're being put through this fake, almost simulation. Dhar Man's profiting off them and they're not getting paid. You know, all of these settings are all used, and they think they don't think they're acting. That's why the acting might seem so terrible sometimes, because they put all of these, you know, drugs to make them believe they're these characters when actually they're really not. And this is affecting them, you know. They almost grow multiple personalities, or, you know, they think they're different people and they're not sure who they are. And that's why you never see any, like, big crossovers or whatever, because, you know, let's go back to this accountant, shall we? This accountant could be based on a real life accountant. Because, you know, he says he's Dhar Man's accountant, so he probably was a failed accountant. That's what he thinks he is, and if he has links to other YouTubers, maybe Dhar Man does have a real accountant like that who helps YouTubers going broke, like, you know, this Mr. Feast fella, and he almost replays the whole life story before. Sometimes they just disappear. He offs them. He doesn't find a use for them anymore, so he decides to just kill them, make sure they have no memory of this. Because you can't free them in case their memory ever comes back. Oh, that's obvious, you know. Now we're going to come to the massive catchphrase of, so you see, it almost becomes ironic now because, of course, they can't see anything. They don't know what the heck is going on. So because of this, that's why he has the catchphrase. He needs to make sure they think they're seeing when they're actually not. It's a bit, you know, poetic, a bit Shakespearean, some might say. And that's where we get our big, substantial amount of evidence and proof. You look at all of this, we think they're all on one set. Maybe they're just filming, but the acting's bad. They're always different characters. Actors disappear. How come you can never find them? You know, I don't find them as actual actors. You know, obviously, if he use actors, he'd find real actors. You know, Mr. Feast and Mr. Beast. What is the, you know, parallel universe? And this is where we also become that. There's different Dhar Man timelines. We see characters get arrested or deported, and then they just come back as, you know, different people. You know, there's sometimes they might be irresponsible babysitter or crack, but then they'll get arrested. But then we see them the next week, but you know, they're back and they're a news reporter, you know, or someone else. Or that's where the timelines don't correlate with each other. And this also backs up that he could be drugging them, giving them different memories. You know, he could be giving them, getting them from a young age, maybe giving them something called dissociative identity disorder, where they think they're different people, and every episode he films them, they're always just different people. That's my opinion on the matter, because well, it's obvious there's something more going on in the Dhar Man timeline, and I think it'll come to light one day. In fact, he's obviously abducting these poor actors, and he's kidnapping them, and he's forcing them to make video. Not forcing them to make videos, they don't even know they're being recorded. I'd love to know what you guys think as well, but a couple bits more evidence, to be fair. It's not much I really have here, but if we really look at Dhar Man as a whole, he's a guy. He blew up after a couple of videos, and people upload them to TikTok. Okay, just hear me out here, okay? Yeah? What if these people on TikTok aren't actually think they are? They upload all these Dhar Man TikToks, and that's their focus. They somehow save all of these videos, and they don't get banned or they don't get brought down, and they, you know, sort of links to. They don't even have links to his merch or anything. You think surely it could be, you know, he wouldn't like this because he obviously monitors his social media a lot. But what if it was Dhar Man posting himself, not himself, but his slaves? Once he's done with the acting, he puts them into a mindless slaves of editing. That's the editing problem. Shit. Because it's not a professional editor editing, it's just you know, slaves who've been drugged or hallucinogenics, and they're losing their memories, torturing them. That's why they always have so much excessive makeup. Probably because he's hiding all the abuse he's been doing them with. Dhar Man is not the man we think he is. We think he's a lovely guy, he's trying to inspire people and change people's lives. What if he literally is changing people's lives? Not for the better good, but bad. He always says he's changing people's lives, but he never specifies how he's changing their lives. You know, other things I could think is, what if Dhar Man is a slave himself? He's obviously a character in his own universe, so it's people like Mr. Beast, but we don't see them. They're more implied that they exist. And, you know, we do see Dhar Man in the universe acting himself, and he seems fine. He always has a smile on him. We've never seen him frown before, so...
Well, that's not textbook defending.
You know, we've seen loads of things like that, and... Now, this comes on to one of my last points, I promised. Another big content creator scene in it. SS Sniper Wolf. She was in a video about gamer girls, and this is much earlier on, and she was giving away, you know, PS5 and a Dhar Man video, which was obviously not recorded. We know that the cameras are hidden and whatever, so we know that SS Sniper Wolf is in the universe as well, and we know that she probably has the same accountant as Mr. Feast and Dhar Man in that universe, because of course she's given away a PS5. We know that. So he's an accountant, and we don't see the actor who plays the accountant in that video specifically, but we do see him, and he's known to be an accountant as the mum's daughter, whatever. No, the daughter's dad is him, played by him, and his job, he said, is to be an accountant, which that makes sense. That famous YouTuber gives daughter a PS5, expensive, thinks, oh, I can help account for you. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off here. I'll probably edit this and add more into an actual video, so I think I'm gonna leave this up. So if you were hearing this, report to Dhar Man. They are bad people, trust me. Dhar Man is a big slave trade pyramid scheme, and we all know that, okay? I'm gonna make one promise to me. I want you to comment what you think, your opinion about this matter is, alright? I want to go to Dhar Man, I want to watch all of his videos, and I want you guys help, okay? I want you guys to email me at mccollettyt@outlook.com. Okay, that's mccollettyt@outlook.com. So my YouTube name, the YT at the end, at outlook.com. I want you to email me your whole theories, and then if I get a couple, or even just one, I'll review them in the next video. Okay? Okay. I will. I'm probably going to do another part to this. I might edit this and make it into the video, but anyway. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and also, just for context, and you're actually watching the gameplay, I was doing that for Summer Swaps. I don't actually play squad battles. I'm not that sad, but I'm gonna collect my rewards quick. Why the F not? I'll probably end up doing that by accident. Yeah, but honestly, like I've been trying to stress to you guys so much, you need to check out Dhar Man. If you look at all of these, it just makes so much sense what I'm saying. You may think now, Charlie, you're fucking mad. I'm not. I know what I'm talking about, alright? Okay? I know what I'm saying, and I need you to understand what I'm saying as well, because I'm aware of what's happening. I'm the only one who's aware, okay? None of these people, they don't pretend they're aware, but they're not. They're really not. And you cannot trust anyone, okay? But I want just to tell you that Dhar Man isn't faked, and there's, you know, he's not using all of this, and they tell you my theory's fake. Don't trust them, okay? Look, oh, go back. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna sign off, because I need to go to the gym now. Yeah, but I'm going to say it once more. It's the last time I'm going to say it, okay? Please email me your theories. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear what you think, and if you guys think I'm, you know, mad or whatever, I'd really like that. I'd appreciate that very much. And yeah, hope you like. This is the first time using my new mic, so I hope you enjoyed it. We'll call it out.